Hi friends, welcome back to Love Good Kitchen, or welcome if it's your first time with us. Today we are actually not going to be preparing a recipe in the kitchen. We are going to chat about menu planning, more commonly referred to as what's for dinner? The dreaded question, and one that is so difficult and can be really can elicit negative reactions from within us. Whether you are a single person, you have a family, a large family, if you like to cook, if you do semi-homemade stuff, if you order takeout all the time, whatever the case may be, it's still a question that we have to answer for ourselves on the daily. So I am going to share with you the things that I use to organize my menu planning and my grocery list. And I fully understand that it may be on a level that many of you are not really interested in going to, and that's fine. But my hope is that in sharing all of these things, maybe there's one or two ideas that'll help you make things a little easier when you're planning out what you're going to have, whether it's in 2 hours or for the week. So it has, my system has a few different parts. The first part is in the compilation of my recipes. Now, I can't say that I have all of my recipes all in one place because, frankly, I have so many that that's just not possible. I mean, maybe, but it would take me probably years, and then it would be a huge volume that would be unwieldy in the kitchen. So many of my recipes are in this black recipe book. This is kind of an old school kind with slots for recipe cards. Do you remember recipe cards? I still use them from time to time, but a lot of my recipes are in here, and this is divided by category. So soups and salads and meats and pasta and things like that. And then another place that I have a lot of my recipes is in a binder. I have two of these. One is for savory things, or like dishes, cooking. What am I trying to say? And then another one, like this one, is for desserts and baked goods. So, and in there, what I have done, some of it is note cards, recipe cards, but a lot of it is things that I've clipped out of magazines, and I do have little page protectors that I use because I have found that I can be messy, and so it bothers me when I splatter or drip on the pages or on the recipes, and then it bothers me. So some of them are handwritten, some of them are out of magazines, some of them are like little clippings, but that's how I have my recipes organized. Now, I do have a lot of cookbooks and pamphlets. I have all of the Ina Garten cookbooks. They actually live in a stack down there next to this shelf because they're really beautiful, and each one has a different color cover. So I think that they're very pretty to display. So I have those down there, but then I have a shelf in the kitchen where I keep some of my other recipe books. Those are the ones that I use the most, and it's probably not the most efficient system, but I just know now, okay, if we're doing the Mediterranean chicken burgers, that's in such and such cookbook that I keep over there. And then a few of the shelves in our library, we'll call it library, that we have in the living room are devoted to cookbooks. So I have plenty of cookbooks there, and some of those are vintage. Some of them I use, but only at certain times of year or whatever the case may be. So the ones that I use less frequently, we keep out there. So that's kind of where I have my recipes. And I also, on the top shelf of the rack or the unit where I have my cookbooks, I keep a little stack of recipes that I have come across, whether it's something that I've that I jotted down, or someone gave to me, or I ripped out of a magazine, or whatever. I keep a little stack of those recipes that I want to try, that I'm interested in. And I have them separated just with a paper clip, like dinners, desserts or baked goods, snacks, things like that, so that it's all not just in a giant jumble. And I do tend to order those, so like the ones at the top of the stack are the ones that I want to try first, or maybe they're the oldest, they've been in there the longest, and then down from there. So that's kind of what I do with my recipes. Now, the first main step that I would recommend as you organize your menu planning, and this may or may not be daunting to you, it depends on how many recipes you have and how many things you enjoy. But what I've done is I've made a list, and it's just a title of the recipe, and I have them in categories. So this area says chicken, this one is pork, this one is beef, and then I just list the names of the recipes under there, like chicken cordon bleu, Italian chicken in the crock pot. Over here it's the kielbasa potato casserole, whatever it might be. Swedish meatballs down here. And then I have different categories. This whole page is pasta. I love pasta, so we have a lot of those recipes. I have a little category for Mexican American fare. This one is Asian fare. We've got soups, sandwiches, breakfast ideas. So I just have them in kind of basic categories. And I'll tell you why that's useful in just a second. So that's kind of part one. Then part two is you need to take which days of the week you plan to prepare a meal. At our house, we don't really go out to eat very often, so I prepare breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. So I really have to be organized, especially because we've got 2 little kids. But if you only cook once or twice a week or on certain days, then your list would look a little different than mine. But I just made a little list, and I did it in different colors just because it's fun for me. And I hang it on the refrigerator, and it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. List the days of the week. Now, like I said, if you only plan or if you only usually prepare dinner, let's say on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, then your list would just have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then you don't have to put anything for the other days, or even you don't even have to have the other days on there. But then I would recommend you designate a category from your list or your binder, or however you want to do it. You can, like I said, you can make these as formal or informal as you want, but I really do think it'll help you. So on this list, I have designated Monday is pasta night. And there are lots of different forms that could take, but Monday is pasta. Wednesday has always been pizza night at our house. I make a pretty good homemade pizza crust, if I do say so myself, which, by the way, is an upcoming video. I'm going to show you how I do my crust. But Wednesday's pizza night. Thursday, we do breakfast for dinner. We love that in our family. I know that's a hot button topic. Some people hate that, but we love it. So Thursday is breakfast for us for dinner. Friday, we have either some sort of sandwich, wrap, or handheld device for dinner. Sunday, I usually do something that's more traditional or fancy, and by fancy I mean maybe it's a little bit more complicated. I can't just throw it together in 20 minutes to half an hour like I need it to do on a weeknight. So that's Sunday. And then Tuesday and Saturday I have listed on here as open, and for me that means it's up for grabs. I can try one of the recipes that I have waiting for me to try, or maybe I have something in the freezer that I just want to thaw and heat up, or whatever the case may be. Tuesday and Saturday on my little list are free range. So what I do is I use this list when making my weekly menu and my grocery list. And I know that, okay, Monday is pasta night. So all I have to do is open my binder to my list, find the pasta page, it's right here, and I just kind of thumb through it. And I think, oh, okay, the Tuscan Ziti, that sounds good. So we're gonna do that this week. Or, well, we just had the sausage Alfredo, so how about this one? And then I'll write that on my menu. And I do that for each category. There are lots of different kinds of pizzas that we make. So pizza night Wednesday, I don't really have a list for pizza, but I certainly could, and just list down sausage, pepperoni, chicken and artichoke, shrimp white pizza, etc., etc. And you just go through your list, and it makes it a whole lot easier. Also, if you have other people in your family that like to weigh in, or you want them to weigh in on what's for dinner, you can just hand them your list, hand them the binder, and say, hey, pick out a couple things from here, and that'll help me out. I do that frequently too. Luke will look through here and he'll go, oh, we haven't had that in a while, that sounds good, let's have that, or whatever. So that part one is making some sort of list, whether it be in a binder or otherwise, of the things that you like to prepare. Maybe your list is going to be really short and there are a handful of things that you just put in a rotation, and that works too. But this system will still work for that. It'll just make it so it doesn't have to be as stressful. And then part two is you make your which meals, which day or night of the week you're going to prepare, so that you can just use those to cross reference. And then we have our actual menu. Now, I can't tell you why do I make it on a, it's like this. Why do I make it on such a small piece of paper? I don't know. I can't tell you. But this is a little sheet of notebook paper that years ago I started folding into, well, how many squares? I guess it'd be 8 rectangles altogether. And I don't know if I do that because then I can get multiple weeks out of one, essentially like 2 months out of one piece of paper. I don't know, whatever. And I have more paper. Anyway, and I write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday down there on the side. And then I just jot down what the dish is, and then if we're having sides, which we always do because I don't ever serve like, here is a pork chop and that's your meal. No, we always have at least one thing that goes with it. I put the sides, I list it next to it. Oftentimes abbreviated so that I'm not, I don't feel like I'm wasting a lot of time making that. But, and then I make a little box here on the side, and I always do at least 2 desserts because Luke and I, as we have our 1 hour of alone time in the evening after the kids have gone to bed, that's what we do. We usually watch some sort of movie or program or what have you, and we have a little piece of pie or a piece of cake or a cookie or whatever it is that I've made. So I jot those desserts that I have decided on for the week over on the side. So this week that we're currently in, for instance, Monday we're having spaghetti and a tossed salad. And what else? Let's see. Wednesday, that's pizza night. We're doing the traditional pepperoni pizza that week, also with the tossed salad. What else is interesting on here? So Sunday, we're going to have barbecue spare ribs with mashed potatoes and veggies. Sometimes I roast veggies. Sometimes I do one of those steamer bags you can just get in the grocery store. But then from there, from this list, then I know which recipes I need to take a peek at so that I can get the proper ingredients. I go to the store once a week. It's usually on Sunday, and I get all of the items that we need for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and any kid stuff or whatever extras we need. I do that once a week. I did go through a phase a couple of years ago where I tried to do 2 weeks at a time, and in fact, at the height of the pandemic, or I guess maybe towards the beginning of the pandemic, when we still didn't really know anything about anything, and they were still recommending that people were taking sanitizer wipes and wiping down their groceries and stuff, because we just didn't know how it was being transmitted and stuff. At that point, I was grocery shopping for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I don't do that anymore because that in itself became too stressful. Like, the lists were too long, it was too hard to plan. Fresh items like produce and things like that if you bought it at the beginning of that period, it was hard for it to keep for 2 or 3 weeks anyway. I don't do that anymore. But I know a lot of you do, and that's cool. This system will still work for something like that. Maybe you can utilize your freezer. We have a freezer, a separate freezer, but it's not super huge. Maybe you have a bigger one so you can freeze some of those things and it'll last longer for you. But at any rate, then in your grocery list, this is what I would recommend. I have this, what does it say? It says awesome, awesome, awesome. I have this little lined notebook. For me, it has to have lines because I'm just OCD like that. I have to stay organized. But I just jot down the items that I need based on, well, let me back up a second. The first part of my list is always the staple pantry items or fridge items that I know we use every single week and we need to buy all the time. And then the rest of it are things that I need for that week's specific recipes. And I just glance in my binder of recipes or my recipe book with the cards or whatever, and I just see like, okay, we need a block of cream cheese, we need a can of cream of mushroom soup, whatever it is. However, I would recommend that, because this will save you time when you're actually at the store, and it'll help ensure that you don't forget a bunch of things, is most of us go to the same store or stores all the time. So we kind of know the layout, we know generally where the items are within the store. So I would recommend that you put the items on your list, not necessarily in categories, but where you know they will be. I don't know that I'm saying that very well, but like, you know, my favorite store is Aldi. Oh, I should try to show you these. I even have Aldi, let's see, maybe if I get up here you can see. I have Aldi there. I've got my Aldi sweatpants on today. They had those on sale in the weekly special aisle a couple weeks ago. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, so my favorite store is Aldi, and I know the layout of the store, and I know where things are. So when you first walk into the store that I go to, bam, you're right there in the produce section. And then it goes into the bread and buns and bakery items, and then it wraps around to the dairies on the back wall, and then that first aisle is cereal and canned fruit and breakfast syrup and pancake mix and that kind of stuff. So I kind of know where everything is, and I will try to put the items on my list in the order that I know I'm going to travel through the store, because that gets pretty annoying if you, like at my store, for instance, the sliced bread is right there just beyond the produce. Well, if I put bread like way at the bottom or at the end of my list, I've gone through the store and I may have forgotten about it until I get to the end. I'm like, oh, okay, now I gotta go back, and if the store is busy, we're playing like, you know, bumper cars with the shopping carts to get back to that part of the store, and it can be kind of a lot. So I don't think you have to get super crazy with that, but that will help you as you lay out your grocery items. And then as I get the items, then I always use this one certain blue pen that's very inky, liquidy. I don't know, I just like it. And I scratch out the item because then it's easier if you just glance at your list and you know, okay, I got everything, or oh no, I didn't find this and this. The other thing that I do is, even though I love Aldi, they don't have every item that I need. And it's always been like that. It probably always will be. So what I do is I go through my list, and if there are things that I know for sure Aldi will not have, I circle it, and then I know, okay, those items I have to go to some other store, Hy-Vee, or God forbid Walmart. You know, I really don't like shopping at Walmart, but I have to say that I've been doing it a lot more frequently since the baby was born, because that kind of stuff, it's just flat out way cheaper at Walmart than anywhere else. So I just can't bring myself to buy it for $5, $7, $8, $10 more somewhere else. So I will go in there, and if I'm in there already, then I might just go across the aisle and buy a couple of grocery things that I need. But anyway, circled items, then I know I need to get at another location. And sometimes when I'm at Aldi, as you may or may not know, they carry certain products seasonally, and occasionally they do add permanent things to their line. But it does happen on occasion that a circled item that I'm planning to get elsewhere, they'll actually have at Aldi. So I will, of course, just get it there and then cross it out. An example that just came to mind is ricotta cheese. Usually comes in a 15-ounce tub container. I use it for lasagna, and we have a few recipes that I use it for, but Aldi has it sometimes, but not all the time. So if I put that on my list, of course it's going to be circled because I know I need to get it somewhere other than Aldi. But if they have it, then of course I'll just grab it and I will cross it off the list. So those three things combined, making a list of general categories, and your categories don't have to be those categories that I mentioned. It doesn't have to be chicken, beef, pasta, breakfast dishes. It can be whatever it is that you want it to be. But some sort of list that will jog your memory with the dishes or the items that you want. And then make a little chart, this one is small, of which days of the week or which meals or whatever you're going to prepare, so that you can then just sit down with your menu. Yours is probably bigger than mine. And you can say, okay, Monday. What is Monday? Monday is breakfast for dinner night. So you flip to your page that has the breakfast for dinner items or the breakfast items, and you just look and you see, oh, there we go. I'm gonna make classic egg bake, and you put it on there. You take a glance at the recipe so you know that you have the items on your grocery list, and there you go. Like I said, I know that especially putting all of this together for the first time, initially it could be a lot depending on your circumstance, but I really think that it's going to help you as you do menu planning. It'll make your life a lot easier. And like I said, even if there's just one of these ideas that will work for you, that's good too. Such as maybe it's just making a list of what things you'd like to do on what night. Like maybe you like pizza and you don't even have to make pizza. Maybe you get a take and bake or whatever it is. And Thursdays are going to be your pizza night. Then you know, you never have to stress about like, oh, it's Thursday, what's for dinner? Nope, you know, it's pizza night. So we don't have to worry about it. But anyway, I hope that helps you. And let me know if you have any questions about something that I'm doing that I didn't explain, or comment below if you have an idea or something along these lines in your menu planning that helps you. I'm sure that all of us, all the viewers here, would like to see what your idea is too. So anyway, thanks for spending some time with me today. It was fun chatting with you. Let's be foodie friends online. I like it. Give this video a thumbs up if you had a good time chatting. Subscribe if you haven't already. It's free to subscribe, and that way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video, and it also helps out my channel. Thank you. And I guess that's it for now. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Hi friends. Okay, so I had to jump back on here real quick just to share. On my actual weekly menu, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something that I started to do somewhat recently, which has been a great help, is next to the item, like I mentioned, Wednesday is pizza night at our house. So Wednesday, I'll write whatever it is: pepperoni pizza, chicken artichoke pizza, um, and then the side dish. Right along that same line, if it's a recipe that I don't do all the time, I will write where the recipe is. Like, it's in the Ina Garden Fast and Easy cookbook, or um, Valerie Bertinelli's pasta sauce, or whatever it is. I will just do a little note so that I will remember where that recipe is, because it has happened to me on many occasions, and maybe it's happened to you. I will plan things. I'll even get the grocery list together with the items that I need. But then a few days later, when I go to look at the menu to see, oh, what are we having for tonight? Or certain recipes, I know that the night before I have to do a little bit of prep before I go to bed so that it can all be ready the next day. I look at it and I'm like, okay, right, that sounds good, but where is that recipe? What book is it from? So this will save you a little bit of headache there and save you some time so you don't have to scour through your cookbooks and recipes to find it. Okay, anyway, just wanted to throw that in there. Okay, bye.